Good morning. It is 8th. It is Wednesday, January the 8th, 2020. How you doing on your resolutions? I don't think anybody necessarily like already. I'm thinking it's probably you're probably still revving up the engine to start. That's what I'm doing. No, because my resolution is really to have God guide each day. So that I'm doing well with that. Yesterday was it was good in the morning. I had my good 3 hours or whatever, and then and then I ate because I was feeling tired, and then after I ate, then I was down for the count. And so I took my nap and got up and didn't feel good. And so I didn't really do a whole lot yesterday. And that was probably good because maybe I'll have a good day today because I rested yesterday. So it's kind of like, I'll have like a really good day. If I have like a really, really good day, usually the next day is kind of and then, it goes from there. Now, if I have a day where I push myself, or a weekend where I push myself like really, really hard, like a New Year's or Christmas type weekend, I'm usually down for the count for a couple of days. So yesterday wasn't too bad. I used it to, what did I do? I know I did things. I just can't tell you what they are. You're a mom and a wife and a housekeeper. Good morning. And you're welcome to join me if you want to. And you walk around the house and you do stuff, and then later on you go, what did I do all day long? And it's like you wiped off doorknobs and fingerprints and stuff. So you don't know. So I swept floors and did bird stuff and whatever, but I can't tell you anything. So the tea is in that. We're doing tea today. Today is a tea day. You can probably get one of your big containers and put tea in it, and then about halfway, because that's really strong. And then after you've drunk some of it, then just put ice in it. You'll have iced tea. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know how to do that I put some apple juice, some cinnamon, and clove in my tea, because cinnamon does good for me. So we just heard about all the strikes and stuff in Iraq. And the president said he wasn't really concerned about the strikes they did last night, because he said it's almost as if they intentionally missed. And not only that, but they also gave a warning. Somehow there was a warning, or we got intelligence that it was going to happen or something like that. So, and the president's like, look, if you screw up, we're going to come get you. And it's like, ooh, okay. That stuff always makes me nervous, especially if you get innocent people involved. I don't like that. But then they also had an airplane go down. A lot of them, there was a lot of Iranian citizens on the airplane, and so that was sad too.
Shot down?
No, they don't know yet, but it crashed. It was a 3-year-old jet, and anyway, so yeah, our poor president is just having a heck of a time of it. His personality does not fit what they want him to be. They want him to be polished and Yes, they just want him to be absolutely perfectly just, Mr. Perfect politician. But he's not. He's a businessman. Yep. And coming from a family of where my grandfather was a businessman, you're not gonna. They are. Yes, shrewd. He said, and yeah, sometimes sometimes they're a little matter of fact. And because they got to get the job done, and they don't sit on their laurels. They go. So anyway, I don't mind our president. I wouldn't have initially when they were talking about when he was talking about running. I was kind of like, oh no way, But then I thought, this is a businessman who runs a successful business. He knows all of the ins and outs. He knows the tricks, and that's good because he can fix it then. He knows how to go around legally get around the loopholes, and that's good for us, because if he knows how to do that, then he can fix that. But I actually have been encouraged by him, just in the fact that he has, I think I'm kind of one of these people that if you have the same exact personality who runs the country every single time, there's never going to be a change. And we need a change, and so we need somebody who's different, not the same. And so to me, he's different. And so to me, I feel like if they would let him stop all this other stuff
and let him do his
job, that I think that probably we would see a lot of really, really good things done.
Yeah.
But they keep blocking him from every direction, and I understand some of it. I do. You can't just let somebody go willy-nilly, just changing the world. But that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah.
So
I have no sense.
So how's your day today going?
Going good. I'm going to drop off this information to get this all faxed off.
Yeah, we just have to figure out which and we can put my information in. I just didn't know if it needed to be the same as the last one. Anyway, so I take Lyrica, and my insurance won't cover Lyrica because there's a I need to stop shaking this camera. I was watching the video yesterday, and that camera shakes all the time. But anyway, I was watching. He just shook the camera. So I take Lyrica, and our insurance will not cover the name brand Lyrica because they have a generic now, and the generic doesn't work for me. The generic, it didn't do it. Just didn't do the same thing. It didn't take the pain away. It took maybe half the pain away. Mm-hmm. So I would have had to have doubled my dose or more, and I was not able to sleep with it. So to get your insurance to pay for it, you have to pay this just ridiculous amount of money and all this kind of stuff. So we went through the Pfizer, yeah, and so there's you actually, there are times where you actually will qualify to have your medication gotten to you. And so, if you are having trouble with getting the right medication or something like that, sometimes you can go through, the first time we went through an advocate thing, which they basically did the same thing. And this time he did it on his own, and it wasn't hard to do. Mm-hmm. So anyway, so we've got to get that done for this year, so that I have my meds. Anyway, so he's gonna. He has a hat on that is not disgusting.
Yep.
I can set fire to the other one.
I'm gonna miss it I'm really gonna miss it, but
Because that one's not feeling very
well, I just have to.
comfortable
The
yet.
other one, yeah, it's just hadn't worked it in. It's brand new, and
Hasn't worked today.
thanks to Cameron Nelson. Appreciate that, buddy.
So you're gonna disgusting his hat?
I'm gonna disgust his hat up. Yes. But it's a hat, and it's.
Why not just pick one that's just a generic?
I don't have any generic hats.
Yeah, you can go to Walmart and get them for like $5.
But I have this one right here.
I know.
If I go to Walmart and I see the hats over there and I put one on and it fits better, see, because I got to put my tail through the back, then I'll grab one.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, hats. I'm so particular about how hats fit.
Well, I think everybody is. I think every guy. You know, it's so funny because you look at a guy who like you, but different than you, who wears hats every day. You'll notice like sometimes their dash, their truck is like hat.
Yeah. Hat
yeah.
You know?
The only problem is that I always feel like hats rub your hair off.
And they might, and that's what they say. Caps are not always the best.
Make
thing
you bald.
To wear. See, but you know, I don't. I have to wear my cap when it's down. I have to wear it down. It needs to be down like further down. But you got the cowboys and the welders and all those guys that wear their hats like this all day long. So like, how does that even stay on your head? I don't understand. See, mine would stay on my head. It would.
Because the ponytail.
The ponytail.
Well, they probably have a different shaped head.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's.
Yeah.
That's
it's
why.
Like my dad's head is like really round. His head is really like oblong.
Like Bert.
Like Bert compared to Ernie.
But I have to have a tall head, not a low profile. The low profile is just.
Yeah, you have to have. Yeah. So that works. So I've gotten to the point where it's just like I post this as morning chatter with you and I, just kind of like you and I talking about the morning. Greta. So Greta doesn't seem to be able to get up to his food now. So now we're just kind of putting the food on the ground. Only problem is he stands where we put the food. He stands there and he just waits. And then we put the food down and he eats and he leaves and the dog eats food. And I'm like, is there a way that we can have like him go into no, I don't have like. Just put an igloo in the kitchen. One that the dog can't fit into.
That's what we need.
Yeah. A box. And then just put that.
No, but
anyway.
Because he jumps down from there and it's just like.
Yeah, no. So he's actually appreciating the fact that we're putting the food on the ground right now. So that's good. That's good. So I did a necropsy yesterday. Oh, this is the funniest story. Sad, sad but funny. But this is the funniest story. So I lost a bird just a few days ago. And the bird that I lost was this beautiful blue frizzle that I just absolutely adore. But she had wing trouble. She had wing trouble from when she was, probably, I don't know, young, not little, but like getting close to full grown age. Mm-hmm. Anyway, her wing flipped on her. And so we got the wing back around the way it was supposed to be or whatever. And then she had Sorry. Oh my God, you just dropped the cat. You okay?
Yeah.
What happened?
Tea wouldn't come out of the thing for me, and then all of a sudden I swallowed, and the tea came out, and then you said something, and I was trying to avoid coughing.
Anything, you just dropped the cat. The cat just went.
So that'll sound good on the video.
Oh my God. You scared the crap out of me. I couldn't tell if you were laughing and blowing tea or if you were choking to death.
Here we go now.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Greta. Poor kitty.
I'm sorry. Fun chatter this morning on the.
Whew. Okay, so anyway. So we got the winger back around and then he had a long time of recovering, she took a while to recover from her wing, but then she got a huge golf ball size cyst under her wing, and the wing just stood out like this. So long story short, she didn't eat and whatever, and I tried to figure out what the deal was with the wing and everything, and she basically passed away. So he tells me, the refrigerator stinks. I think that you need to uh, throw away
The bird.
the bird. And I was like, well, she hasn't been in there very long, so okay.
Just to clarify, the bird is not like on a tray like at a
no, it's in a bag.
Type of thing. It's in a bag.
No, it's wrapped up in a bag, and it's there until I can. And I don't do that for every bird, but if I'm curious to see if there's something going on in my flock, I will do a necropsy on the bird. So the bird had only been in there for a couple of days, and normally they can be in there for a little while, and okay. And so anyway, he was talking about a smell in the refrigerator, and I was like, well, I don't think it's the bird, but I'll take the bird out. So I took the bird out, and he says, well, you're not going to do a necropsy right now. And I said, yes, I am. And so I went in the kitchen, I did the necropsy, and as I'm doing the necropsy, I'm going, that is not the smell in the refrigerator. So I go ahead and I finish her necropsy. It turns out that she was completely healthy. There was nothing wrong with her. The only thing that was wrong with her was a huge cyst under her wing, and there was nothing. There was no infection. There was no nothing. She was perfect. So that was really frustrating. So she basically, if she would have continued to eat, she could have survived with that wing like that. That would have been miserable. Anyway, so that was a blessing. She passed. But I went back there and I said, hey, by the way, that's not the smell in your refrigerator. And so he opened the refrigerator and I said, it's probably that spaghetti that's in there. And he was like, oh, I'll give that to the dogs. And he pulled the spaghetti out and he opened it as he was walking through here, and he had forgotten he put broccoli in it.
So needless to say,
that was the smell. That was in the refrigerator.
So I quickly put the.
He put it outside.
I put it outside on top of the trash can lid.
You're gonna do something with it, right?
I'm gonna do something with it if it hadn't already hurt any of the environment outside.
I was like, not my pretty
I
little
opened it
girl,
up and it's
my
going
little
like,
girl.
oh!
I think there was nothing wrong
goodness.
with her. I was like, I don't think. As soon as I went in there, I mean, I knew it wasn't her. I took her out and I was like, it's not her. I know it's not her. It's got to be something else. And I completely forgot you had put broccoli in that.
Yeah, those old pots and pans like that, they don't have a leak-proof seal on them. So just
I don't care. Broccoli. If you cook broccoli, cabbage, or boil eggs, it's always going to make your refrigerator stink, even if they're fresh.
Even in the beginning, yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, you could have given it to the dogs, although the dogs probably would have been like, "What the heck are you trying to feed me?"
I opened it up and it was already science experiment.
Oh, yuck! Why do you leave stuff in your refrigerator that long? That's gross.
Well, it was covered by chicken. I had chicken on top.
It was not covered by.
I had the.
Oh, you had the chicken
package,
that you
I had
cooked
the package of chicken
the day before.
Yeah, that was on top.
It was
of it,
on
and
top
I did
of
see
it.
enough. Just forgot.
How can you not see a big metal pot
Just
that's
laziness.
this big?
Laziness of the cook.
It's his refrigerator, so I don't go into it very often. So he's got to be able to,
be independent.
Independent. Oh yeah. So we're like reading. What is that? Which one was that one in? That was in the. That was in. No. That was the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Talks about first you have to figure out how to go from dependent to independent, and then you go from dependent to interdependent. Anyway, it's interesting. So it made me think, okay, Shannon, I need to go back to dependent. Sorry, back to back to independent.
Zero wrong.
And he has to go to independent. Because he's never been.
Yeah. However you want to put it there.
He's always had either his mama or me taking care of him.
Can you clean my nose?
No, go away. Anyway, so no, he's a strong guy, but there are certain things that he's not mastered, and so we're going to work on that because that's going to be
money and organization. two major
money and organization. Yeah. Well, just being able to actually. I mean, he for the first time in forever has had to actually take care of me. And and he's finally starting to get the hang of it a little bit, but he's kind of one of those crack the door open. How you doing? You doing good? All right, bye. And then you don't see him for hours. So he's not. And then it's kind of like, woohoo, mom's sick, trash the house.
Yeah.
And then I have no. That's just what happens. Not that you say that mentally in your mind. Mom's sick. I'm gonna go in the back, do anything I want. Not gonna clean the kitchen. Not gonna do
Doing okay?
The floors are clean.
That's good. I'll be outside with the chickens.
Oh well, okay. You can. There you go. There you go. There's some sarcasm there.
But that's what I.
That's true.
But that's true.
That's true. See, very good, honey.
Thank you.
You
that was serious comment. That was no sarcasm involved.
No, it was sarcastic, serious comment.
Okay, I'll take it.
Truthful though.
There we go.
So yes, so yeah, he has been very good about taking over the birds because I haven't been feeling well. So, and he's actually getting to the point where he's starting to clean up after himself. Getting there. Right?
Yes.
He didn't say that with a very definite.
Where he's almost 60 years old. He's just now starting to clean up after himself. Isn't that good?
Well, look at I'm immature in a lot of ways.
Yeah, right.
I am.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I am.
See, it takes time to think. She has to.
No, I'm just kind of goofy, crazy.
Well, that's okay. That's all right. I think that's
silly.
That's great.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so let's go on to subjects.
I'll have another sip of my tea so I don't choke.
Shall I back up and make sure? Do you need to learn how to use that cup? Maybe you should take the lid off and use it until that ice. Well, no.
The ice went in and
melted right away.
It was already melted.
Yeah, maybe you need to learn how to use your cup again.
I might need to.
Don't trip on my paperwork because it needs to be clean.
You just put it. Don't drip on the paper. Just don't drip on it.
But when you blew that I was like,
that's why I had to get
don't blow it on this paperwork.
So I got, like I said, I have to deliver eggs today.
Deliver eggs.
Just make sure you don't break them.
I'm not gonna say it. Like he'll put them all like in this giant bag, and he's like, and I'm like.
Well, I do have to say, I did have one of those those real big suitcase-sized shopping bags.
Yes.
And I put I stacked it full of eggs,
mm-hmm.
and I took it over to the food bank. And as I was taking it out of the truck, the whole side ripped. And fortunately, I don't get about this far to fall.
So you didn't lose any eggs?
I have no idea.
Oh no!
I told her. Oh no! I told her that I kind of dropped it because it was torn, and she saw the tear.
Oh no!
So I said, salvage whatever you.
That's sad. So you made them work.
Oh, they just took them all to the back and
popped them open.
But then the other ones I went ahead, like I told you, I took to the women's shelter.
Yeah.
The last batch, and it's
You're
always
missing the Eggman. Don't try not to bump the camera.
The Eggman has not.
Eggman.
Now I'll be heading out that way today, going to Candy's to deliver her eggs, and
She went duck too, or just?
She just said 3 dozen. So.
Oh, okay.
We haven't had a whole lot of duck eggs.
We actually have some duck eggs.
We do have some.
How many? We've got like 2-3 dozen.
A couple of dozen for sure. The eggs have been kind of slack. They've been kind of slack.
Yeah, the girls have been slacking. They went through a molting, which is when they redo their feathers. It's called molting, and then they haven't started up again.
Mm.
So.
Okay. Well, I'll be delivering some of that today. Taking that, but I have, and then I have some work out there.
Oh, good. I'm
trying to do some more sewing.
Sewing. Yeah. Okay. So our verse yesterday was, "The more you sow, the more you reap."
And the less you sow, the less you reap.
Yeah. So, and it's basically has to do. It's basically talking about. Well, I mean, I don't know exactly what I have to look at the context it was said in, but it's talking about giving and giving to others, not necessarily monetarily, but other things and stuff like that. And so it's one thing that we, it's kind of like, if you were to, I asked him this the other day, I said, if you were to give 10% of what you want to make, how much would you have to give every week? And it was like, let's see.
We could sell them. we could sell one of the houses and just sell it.
It's like, yeah, I don't think it'll work.
No.
I don't think he's gonna make you rich.
No.
Overnight. But
you have to work hard at it.
But it is it's a good. I remember one time when we were giving more, and we were doing much better.
Mm-hmm.
And then the gas prices went up. And
yeah, I had an issue at that time.
And then I was.
Are your eyes watering? Your eyes are all glossy.
My eyes are
or glassy.
They're I think they're allergied.
Oh, I was thinking somewhere in between when we first started this thing, I said something offensive.
No, no. I didn't take your chicken thing to upsetting. I'm good.
Oh, well, I didn't mean for it to be. I was just. Yeah,
no. No, I'm good.
That's my usual. That's my usual.
You actually are. You hit the nail on the head. You actually got stuck with that job unfairly.
Well, if you noticed that we've changed some things around a little bit. We've started doing this in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I still did a few things last night, but you put the feed out and stuff like that, and then they eat all day long. So it's like you don't have to.
But see, if you put, I always think if you put the feed and the water, they really want a lot of water.
Mm-hmm.
And I always think if you put a lot of feed and water out in the morning, then you're going to get more eggs from them through the day. Where what you tend to do is wait till the evening and you give them their food and everything right about the time they're about to roost. So they can't really eat very much then. So I think morning is always the best time to get them all fed. And then in the evening, there shouldn't be that much to do. And through the day, I kind of go out and check on them and stuff. I didn't collect eggs yesterday, though, so thank you for doing that.
And the thing is, it seems to.
But
it seems to have gotten easier once you got a lot of the birds out of the house.
Yeah.
And you're not having to tube feed any birds.
No, I'm not having to tube feed any birds.
That takes a lot of time on your part.
But what I did was. We both decided to get the original 6 hens, and then after the original 6 hens, we had them for a year, and then the next season that came around to get birds, where the feed store had birds, we decided to get some other birds, and so I had my list, and he had a few he wanted to get, and so I got the ones that I wanted to get, and he got his game birds, and so we went from having 6 birds to having
less than 30 probably.
No, I mean it was like I think we got like there was probably like 12 or something on that day or something. So it was less than 20 actually. Or it's somewhere around 20, 25. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so we chose to do that together. And then unbeknownst to us, some of the hens were not hens. Mm-hmm. But no, we did. I got myself Ruru and Clara from some lady that
in Bernie
that had frizzles and
Bulverde, sorry.
Bulverde. And what did I say?
Oh, I said Bernie.
You said Bernie, and I said Bernie. And then so it kind of snowballed from there. And then I met other people. Robin, my friend Robin, got me hooked on a chicken site. It's all her fault.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. And so anyway, she got me hooked on this chicken site, and I found out my neighbor across the street had chickens, and so then we just started hatching eggs and having fun. And then all of a sudden,
a snowstorm, and not snowballs anymore.
And then all of a sudden, there's just a lot of birds,
Yeah.
and and then I just flared. I just started flaring like crazy. My health was going down, but the chicken count was going up. So I was taking care of the chickens while he was doing his radio show every morning, because he was doing his radio show every morning at the time. And then and so I was doing it every morning, and we both decided to get ducks and everything. So, and then we ended up with like the roosters that came with the ducks. So that was, but those were things we did together, kind of.
Yeah. And incubators.
Yeah. And then the incubators. So, I think that a lot of it was me going with it and him not saying, hey, stop.
Boundaries.
So, yeah. It was God's way of teaching him how to say no.
So we've done pretty good with it now. Yeah. Since the quail thing has come along, and it's twofold here. They say you could do something with the eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're like, so if that goes well,
mm-hmm.
then I thought about maybe getting more quail.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't always work that way. You know what I'm saying? The plan, you go like, let's get some more quail. Oh, but I'm not. I look at all these eggs I still have. You know where I'm going with that?
That you can't sell the eggs.
That's correct. Yeah. So it's like.
See, quail eggs, you would almost have to go to. You could go to like a restaurant and say, "Would you be interested in buying quail eggs?"
Yeah, we'll
but except they're we went 300 dozen. Oh no, I mean like a dozen.
I'll put you on the list.
Yeah, but no,
300 dozen. You know what?
No, a restaurant. Yes.
You know what I would do? I'd have my.
You'd be like, give me a year. And then I
would have my quail farm. That's right.
But no, I mean, and the thing is that the eggs are amazing, and it's just that the feeding is expensive when you have so many birds, and then when you have roosters that don't lay eggs, you're feeding them
just to be here.
Yeah, just to be here. So you better love the rooster, and then you have dogs that you could eat the dog that annoyingly barks at the door. I'm sure y'all hear that a whole lot more than we do. It's just
we just
learn how to tune it out.
Put it in the
but yeah, so the chickens did get a little overwhelming, and it really wasn't so much that the birds were overwhelming, because we were going to have them and sell them. It was a good plan. It was a really good plan. I was learning. I was doing all the learning how to hatch them, learning all of the things that can go wrong.
Which is not
Believe me, I've learned everything that can go wrong. And then all of a sudden we got pox, and I won't sell a bird that's sick, and it just didn't fall into place the way that we thought it might. So now everything we're doing now is extremely carefully done.
So we've we don't want eggs sitting in the refrigerator for too long, even though you could keep them in there for a couple of months or whatever. I want to get them out of there, because eventually I'd have to buy another refrigerator. I don't want to do that. So
this is the thing. We have egg customers. You just have to post it on there probably weekly.
Yeah.
Instead of bi-weekly. We usually wash our eggs every couple of weeks. And so it's kind of like, and then the thing is, it's like first come, first serve. If you are like the first one who says you want eggs, you're going to get the freshest ones,
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of how it works.
Yep.
And then we leave the older ones for ourselves because we don't care.
Yeah.
So the fresh ones get sold first, and then the older ones we keep. And so yeah, so it's just that the feed to the feed for the birds is not cheap.
No. And I traded I bartered some services or for feed,
Mm-hmm.
but for what we traded, it doesn't take
It just
long
makes
to
a dent.
it just doesn't
So
take long.
anyway,
But it helps.
So we have several more roosters to get rid of, and they're probably bored to death with our chicken talk. But
It's just chat. It's just chatter.
it's just more chatter. We're just discussing our game plan for this next year. So I have some eggs that I will want to either hatch or sell, and I do have some beautiful frizzle boys that I would like to sell to someone who really wants a beautiful frizzle boy, because we take them to the feed store. We're blessed to be able to take them to the feed store, and they give us $5 a bird. But I've got some that are just absolutely gorgeous.
How about we try to do this today when I get back home? Let's get those eggs in the incubator, so we can get them started. So before they change their mind.
Well, Robin won't change her mind because she owes me. It's her fault.
And then then I'll check on the MeWe. I'll check on the MeWe thing and see if I
post some pictures.
Yeah, it's kind of like I had myself I made myself a list, but I think I did it with the rosary yesterday. Made my list on the rosary of all things. But I got them all done. But I got them all done. They were all done.
That's funny.
Who else does? Anybody else do that? I don't.
Hey, it doesn't matter. It's prayer's prayer. Yeah. So
juice today, please let me
know. So yeah, just it's our problem is our follow through. There's something always that kinks our follow through. We have a good plan. We decide to do this. We're gonna, sell the birds. The birds get pox. And it's like, well.
Yeah, here's one. Finally, we decide to get. We decide on the vehicle that we're going to decide to put a wrap on for the business, and it's like we've never. I mean, who'd have ever thought we would have done that for one?
Right.
Okay. So everything is all lined up, all the sponsors except for one, and it's like pulling
teeth to get it done.
To get it, it's like okay, now it's like. Pfft.
If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. But that's the thing. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If it's not meant to be, then we're going to have a lot of work. You're going to have. I swear, sometimes I feel like it's God's training you out in that chicken yard to take on a huge amount of responsibility, because it's all for a purpose. It's all for a reason. I know that it's all for a reason. It all comes down to being, and we'll see it later. We did before when the house flooded and everything. When we turn around and we go, oh, well, if that wouldn't have happened, we wouldn't have gotten this house because this would have been too overwhelming to look at. But because we had overwhelming already, this looked like nothing. Mm-hmm. Well, it didn't look like nothing, but it looked doable, and anybody else would have gone, that's not doable. But because of what we had already gone through and experienced and learned, this was doable. And so I think the same thing with the birds. It's going to be the same sort of thing. I think God's training you for something else. And then all of a sudden you're going to say, oh, well, hey, that's doable because I've done this, so I can do that.
Yep.
It's I think that's how it works. I think that's how it all works because, my flares and stuff things have gone better. I've done better. And I'm hoping to continue to do better. I hope.
Oh, we hope
it seems to change, not necessarily do better, but change. But it seems right now I seem to be doing better.
But changes for the better.
Yeah.
That's good.
Changes. So we'll see how this next year unfolds. I'm hoping that things will be better, that I can be a little accomplished. I have things I want to do. I want to accomplish things. I want my garden, but I don't want that garden. I don't want the big enormous, overwhelming garden. I want a little garden, but the enormous garden last year was his fault. It was not my fault. I sent him to get the plants from Candy because I wasn't feeling well.
And I brought plants.
He brought plants.
And I planted all of them.
Oh my gosh, did he bring plants?
So I figured if we planted them all, we'd at least get 50-50.
Oh my God, we didn't. It was overwhelming the amount of plants that he brought home and planted. So that was his fault.
Yeah, I'll take it.
He can't blame me on that one. So that overwhelming mess is him. But but we're gonna, but everything we learn, everything we do, we learn. We learned that year not to do that. So this year's going to be different. Mm-hmm. And I can't consider anything. I felt a little guilty. I've had many months of feeling really, probably a whole year of feeling really guilty about the birds when I got sick and then you had to take them on. But now I'm learning that might be part of the process of something that God's trying to teach you. Mm-hmm. A maturity thing, a growth thing, a being able to take on more responsibilities because He's going to bless you with more work and more responsibilities, so you have to learn.
I have to learn how to do them.
Yeah, so it's better to learn with chickens than have him just throw it at you and you fall on your face.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because if you're going to fall on your face and the chicken doesn't get fed, that's a little different.
Yeah.
Losing chickens is a whole lot easier than other stuff. So,
all right.
You've got cat hair
all over you. All over me, but it's all for.
But it's all for good reason. You dropped your cat.
Look at the look she gives me. He gives me.
He keeps saying she because the name's Greta. I'm gonna play that back and you're gonna hear this ka-dunk. And when you hear that, you will know that was Greta.
You're gonna hear the Greta. Ka-dunk. I'm
gonna be walking on the floor and be like, "What am I gonna stick into this floor?" Oh yeah, that's right, blue sweet tea all over the floor. Thank you very much. Mr. needs to learn how to drink.
Yep, that's where I started having my drinking problem.
You definitely have a drinking problem.
All right, I'm going to put him down over here.
Okay, so we're going to get our day started. I am going to start my day by probably doing some reading. I think I'm going to do some reading. I'm going to do some, what I should do is take it on the front porch. Mm-hmm. With the sun out, it might be warmer. I don't know what the temperature.
Oh, it's definitely warmer outside.
It is 61 degrees outside, according to my over there. It's nice having this show because you can see the time and the degrees right there without having to ask. And then when she spells out a word, she actually puts it on the screen. It works great. Cool. I was like, okay, how do you spell schizophrenia? No, that's not what I asked you.
Alexa, how do you spell schizophrenia?
Schizophrenia is spelled SCHIZOPHRENIA.
And then it also looks like it has some kind of a picture in the background that says
of somebody who wrote it in a schizophrenic. Yeah. Something I would do. No, so I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start my day with some reading. And then I don't know what I'm going to do. It's going to depend on what God wants me to do today. He says that as he's thinking, I hope she cooks. No. You probably want me to go outside and help with birds.
I want you to go outside and enjoy the birds while I'm putting stuff out.
Yes, he wants me to help with birds. Okay, so you guys, it's 44 minutes that we just blessed your day with.
That's it, sweetie. That is it.
Okay, so enjoy Bruce choking and dropping the cat. You guys have an awesome day. And I'm sorry if we talked about politics or chickens too much. You can just get past those things, or whatever, or learn about chickens. Whatever you want to do. If you need a rooster, I've got plenty. Y'all have an awesome day, and we will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.